Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about comparatives. So there are two ways of using adjectives to compare things in English, and we're going to talk about both. First of all, we're going to start with short adjectives. Okay, let's take a look at this list. We can see that all the words in this column are one syllable. Short, big, tall, small, old, young. If we want to compare two things, we're going to use the adjective with the suffix er to form the word, in this case, shorter. So the word shorter, we use it to compare item A and item B. For example, big plus er is bigger, right? So let's draw two boxes. So box A and box B. We can use the comparative to say that box B is bigger than box A. And if we just want to talk about box B, we just say box B is bigger. So the comparative works by using the adjective and adding the suffix er. Okay? In the next example, tall, we also add er, and now we have the word taller. Let's use the same boxes now. We can see that box B is significantly bigger. Okay, we already established that. But if we talk about his size, we can also say that B is taller than A. So the comparison acts by using the adjective, the ending er, and the word than. In the next scene, we're going to explain how to use longer adjectives to make comparisons. Okay, still with me? All right. Now we're going to illustrate how to use the comparatives, and on purpose, of course, we're going to run into a little bit of a problem. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have John and we have Abbott. John is 18, all right? Hi, John. And Abbott is 30. So if we use short adjectives like young and old, we can say this. John is younger than Abbott. And we can also say that Abbott is older than John. All right, there we go. Oh, so far so good, right? John is 18, so John is younger than Abbott, and Abbott is 30, so Abbott is older than John. Okay? Now, John is 180. Well, he's pretty tall, right? Or average, well, depending where you live. But Abbott is 195. Oh, there we go. So we can say that Abbott is taller than John, right? We're going to write that here. Abbott is taller than John. And I know it's kind of ridiculous to say it, but John is shorter than Abbott. We're going to write it anyway. John is shorter than Abbott. Okay, again, so far so good. John is younger than Abbott. Abbott is older than John. Abbott is taller than John, and John is shorter than Abbott, even though John is quite tall. He's 180, okay? But here comes the problem. You see, John's IQ is 138. So we could say that John is very intelligent, and that's going to be our objective here. Well, what happens here? Abbott's IQ is 145. So Abbott is very intelligent too. So how do we make this comparison? We can't use the same system like tall, taller, short, shorter, young, younger. So to use long adjectives, we're going to change the system a little bit. Okay? So what do we do in this case? Okay, we had the word intelligent, as I mentioned in our previous example. And when we have adjectives which are longer than one and sometimes two syllables, like intelligent, 4 syllables, we're going to use more, okay, to indicate that the quality goes up, and less to indicate that the quality goes down. So it goes like this: more intelligent than. Let's take a look at our friends. We saw in our previous shot that Abbott's IQ was significantly larger than John's. So in that case, we could say that Abbott is more intelligent than John. And that's how we make the comparison. With other adjectives, for example, reliable, which means that you can rely upon, okay? We can use more reliable than or less reliable than. Another synonym of this, trustworthy. You can put your trust into that person or into that piece of equipment. For example, if I have 2 phones and one is always bad and it doesn't work, and then I change it for another one which works better, I can say, okay, my new phone is more reliable, or yes, it's more trustworthy than my previous phone. And let's talk about money for a little bit. Okay, let's talk about things we can buy with money. If we were to compare 2 very expensive objects, for example, 2 cars, let's say a Ferrari. Well, sorry about that, Ferrari. And there has to be another car which is, well, for the sake of the exercise, we're going to assume that an Aston Martin, okay, which is also a very expensive car, is more expensive than a Ferrari. And if we make the opposite comparison, we can say that the Ferrari is less expensive than an Aston Martin. But take a look at this. When we say that this is less expensive than this, it doesn't mean it's cheap. So that's one of the good things what happens when we use these type of comparatives. We can say, for example, safely that John is less intelligent than Abbott, but we're not calling him stupid or dumb because his IQ is above average. Okay? So that's what we do. In the next table, we're going to resume these 2 ways of using comparatives with adjectives. Okay, let's take a look at what we learned today. When using short adjectives, we use the adjective plus the ending er plus the word than. Example, I'm older than you, or he's younger than me. Same rule applies to every adjective which is short, like tall, short, big, small, old, young, wide, narrow. Okay, when we have some adjectives with 2 syllables, we can also say narrower than, but some people use the second rule for this area. So it's kind of gray. But when we have long adjectives, for example, 3 or more syllables, intelligent, trustworthy, reliable, expensive, we're going to use more or less, then we use the adjective, and then we use the word than. So, a few examples of this. A plane is more expensive than a car. Or, the subway is more reliable than the buses, especially in this city. And that's all the time we have for today. On behalf of everyone here at Smooth Talkers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.